we're required by law to send a formal notice to any responsible party before we can file a legal action in court. And so this is not we haven't actually filed a complaint in court yet, but we've sent a formal notice to let all the responsible parties, including EPA and state of Colorado, know that if we're unable to get on the same page and put together a plan that'll ensure the continued safety for our citizens, then we will ultimately go to court. I'm a lawyer, but we would always prefer to avoid having to go to the courthouse and engage in litigation. But so far it's been 5 months, and we just really are frustrated with the lack of action on behalf of EPA and others who are involved with this bill. And we really need to make sure we're taking care of our communities. So we're gonna keep that possibility open, but hope that we can work through these issues directly.
And so they have 60 days, is that it, to perhaps remedy the situation?
That's right. They have 90 days, and what we really want is for them to sit down at the table with us and to start working on how we can put together some meaningful solutions and action plans. We've proposed a comprehensive plan to protect the communities and the wildlife that has been impacted by this bill, and we haven't received any support for that plan from EPA so far, but that would be a critical first step. And to be honest, it's not asking a lot. Once if you cause a disaster, really all we're asking is to support a plan that allows us to understand what the impacts are, and so that'll inform how we can protect our communities and make sure that we're and our wildlife and put together future plans to address remediating those impacts.
So what are some aspects of the plan? What do you actually plan to do under this plan, and what are some of the things the EPA could do to support that?
The plan is a comprehensive. It's been developed by the local communities. What we did was establish a group of stakeholders, including our public universities, non-governmental organizations in the region, local community leaders, and some subject matter experts from our agency and other agencies to come up with a comprehensive plan that looks at the impact on the river, on the sediment in the river, on the interaction between the river and the sediment with the groundwater, as well as the impact on agriculture and wildlife. So we've really tried to take a comprehensive look at the full impact of this spill. EPA has provided their own plan, which only entails really looking at 1 year, looking at monitoring for a year, and they don't propose to monitor a number of important areas such as groundwater or agriculture. And so we think their plan is really inadequate. What EPA could do is what I've asked them to do is to guide a discussion among all of the downstream communities who have been impacted by this to develop one independent watershed scale plan. So, these issues, even though we have a number of states and sovereign nations that are impacted by this spill, really environmental issues don't respect political boundaries. So I think it's incumbent on all of us to put those differences aside and look at the entire watershed and figure out what's happening and how we can work together to address it. So that's what I've been urging EPA to do over the past 5 months. I think we have 90 days to try to take some meaningful action and really to put the gamesmanship aside and to make some progress. And ultimately, that's what I think the communities really want. They don't want people pointing the finger, or they don't want to hear about legal battles. They just want us to fix the problem. And that's what we're trying to do.
All right. So just for people who aren't familiar with the situation, the EPA was actually trying to do something with this mine in southwestern Colorado, maybe clean it up or remedy it somehow, but they ended up unleashing a spill of materials and everything. So I can see how the EPA would be somebody that you would sue. And then there are the owners of the mines that are named as that they might be sued as well, right?
That's correct, as well as the state of Colorado.
Yeah, so that's that last one. I'm not. What is it that that you're looking for from the state of Colorado?
Well, really, the reason why Colorado has been implicated in this is because EPA and the Department of Interior have assigned blame to the state of Colorado in their subsequent reports analyzing the failure. And so both EPA and the Department of Interior, the U.S. Department of Interior, came out with reports analyzing what happened and what went wrong. And in both of their reports, they pointed the finger squarely at the state of Colorado for causing or creating this spill. Colorado has disputed that and has said no, EPA was the party responsible for making it worse. Yeah, I don't think anyone, Colorado or EPA, I don't think that it's, I think there's a lot of people that will have conspiracy theories or make kind of political hay of it. EPA and Colorado aren't out there trying to intentionally cause damage to the area. They were trying to figure out how to address it, but in doing so, it's been very clear that they were woefully negligent. I mean, some of the things they did were reckless and irresponsible in how they went about trying to address the problem. But Colorado was named because EPA has said that Colorado is responsible. At the end of the day, again, though, I think this issue impacts Colorado's communities, New Mexico's communities, the Navajo Nation's communities, other sovereign nations like the Southern Ute and the Ute Mountain tribes, and state of Utah. So it's incumbent on all of us to really just put those differences aside. I don't think we need to get into the assigning blame at this point. I think we still have some time to come together and develop an action plan. And the reason why I sent the notice was because I've traveled to DC twice. I've repeatedly tried to get people to come together and actually put a plan in place. And those efforts have been met with resistance, legal gamesmanship, and honestly a lot of a concerted effort to manage public relations, and that's not going to clean up the river.
Right. So, what can you give us a few, concrete examples of some of the harm that's been done in New Mexico because of this spill?
Sure. Every time there's a stormwater event subsequent to the spill, we've seen lead levels go way up and well above the Safe Drinking Water Act standard for what's a safe amount of lead in our water bodies. And so we have 7 different public water systems who are drawing water for their communities from the river. And each and every time we've had a large stormwater event, the sediment that contains all of that metal that's been left over from the release gets agitated, and we've seen the lead levels go well above and beyond a safe standard in the water. And so that's one concrete example of an issue that we've seen, an ongoing environmental issue related to this spill.
And so now
I've got to run. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Thanks for calling.
I'm going to have to step into a committee meeting here.
Sure. Well, thanks for calling, and thanks for talking with us.
No problem. Have a good day.